This is Rob from Explorer Travel, and I'm at the WTM in XL with Sara from bestofzambia.com, and we're going to have a little bit of a chat about Zambia as a tourist destination. Hi Sara, thanks for popping along.
Hi Rob.
Good. Well, a lot of what I want to talk really about is most people know Zambia for the Victoria Falls, and they use it as an extension coming up from South Africa. They fly up to Livingstone, have a look at the waterfalls, and maybe go away. Now, there's obviously a lot more to Zambia than a very impressive waterfall,
yep.
And that's just really what I want you to tell more people about. Why would I want to spend more time in Zambia? What is there to see and do?
That's a really difficult question because there's absolutely an immense amount that you could do. The obvious place, I'll start with the obvious, is Victoria Falls, and you come there, it's right next to a safari park, so you've got that as well. It's mainly an adrenaline junkie's paradise with regard to bungee jumping, canoeing, the Zambezi, but there's something for everyone.
Yeah.
You can go there to do your high adventure stuff, and you can also go there to relax, go bird watching, go walking. And if you extend out of there, you've got the safari places and the safari camps. Zambia's actually got 19 national parks.
Okay.
And in terms of wildlife, it's got the richest concentration of wildlife known, but in comparison to that, the fewest number of visitors. So that's a real gem.
So you get that real isolation that you're not on a big tour.
If you want wild and you want wildlife in their natural home and really not used to you, then Zambia is the place to go. South Luangwa is well known. North Luangwa is even more wild than that, and people would recommend, for example, that you don't actually go there unless if you're with experienced tour operators. So the overland driving, well, a lot of people do that in Zambia, and it's a really nice way, and I've done that, it's a really nice way to drive for hours and hours and see the real thing. But North Luangwa is so wild that I would say go with tour operators who know what they're doing.
And you have various lodges in these reserves, obviously. So, and do they cater for all ranges of the not backpacker stuff, but right up to high-end luxury?
Yes. I think within every national park, Zambia's got well-known ones that are more established than others. The hidden stuff that you'd go for in developing areas like Bangwelu National Park, there's a lake there. They are just coming. There's rumours of Zambia tourism trying to do stuff. There's a lot of private sector people working in those areas, and really Zambia's run by the private sector, and it's their lodges, and you get everything from camping for a few dollars a night, self-catering, you can go by overland, you can fly there, and you go right up to the lovely spas and high-end safaris, very experienced guides, and beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Luxury in the wild. So what you're telling me is Zambia is a destination itself. People can come down there for a week or 10 days and maybe have a couple of days at the falls, then go and do a walking safari in one of the parks. Because you've got Lake Kariba, and for people who don't know, this was a lake. It was created in the 1960s, wasn't it, when they built the Kariba Dam, and it just flooded this whole area. But it's created a fantastic wildlife attraction, hasn't it? I mean, historically, that's got a fantastic story on its own. Lake Kariba is brilliant for fishing. It's interesting that you're touching on the lakes because there's Lake Kariba, there's Lake Tanganyika, there's Lake Mweru, there's Lake Bangwelu. Each of them has something different to offer. Kariba is described as Zambia's sort of hidden Riviera. I haven't been there for a long time, but it's fabulous. The pictures that I've seen and the people that we're working with, it's brilliant. Lake Tanganyika shares its borders, if you like, with Burundi, Congo, Tanzania. It's up in the north, and it's the longest freshwater.
Tanganyika is the old name for Tanzania, isn't it?
I believe so, yes.
They didn't change the lake name when they changed the country name.
And it's a fantastic place. A lot of people go there for a rather different interest. It's one of the most biologically unique places. There's stories about the lake, and its temperature is even, and that's unexplained. People still don't know why it's 3 degrees anywhere in that place, and nobody knows why. There's over 300 species of fish. And people, it's very just interesting in that sense. And that's next to a national park as well. I think it's, I can't quite remember the name. There's a lot. But there's that. So that's the lake side of things. Bangwelu's got the lakes and the swamps. And that's got a lot of the lechwe, I believe, which is really good, really good. And then there's Liwa Plains, which, as we speak, there's the migrations.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah,
and that's well known for in various countries, but it's lesser known for. They come from Angola and they go into Liwa Plains.
That's over on the west for people that don't know, and they come across into Zambia.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so it really does sound like there's much more to it there than just Livingston, which is what I always knew. But it's good to let other people know that, because it's
there's a huge amount. I mean, to talk about that in sort of the 10 minutes that we've got, what I would say is now's the time where you can get informed, you can get more information. I mean, there's culture. There's a lot of the cultural ceremonies now are being promoted, and people, international visitors, are quite welcomed
to come along and watch
to watch the ceremonies. And those, when you go to them, you've got the artifacts, you've got the traditional food, you've got the traditional music and the dance and theatre.
And how is it for people to travel around if they want to do self-drive? Because it's obviously an old British colony. They drive on the same side of the road as we do, and there's no problem travelling around.
Zambia is very much what you know here. Drive on the same side of the road. It's English. Most people will speak English. Even if you go into more rural areas, most people you will be able to have a conversation, and everybody's very friendly, and they'll tell you directions, and it's quite easy. The distances are huge. It's a very big country. You have to be prepared.
I think that goes the same in any big country. If you're in Australia or South Africa or anywhere like that, you have to.
I mean, when we drove from Lusaka to Luangwa National Park, that took us. We left at the crack of dawn and got there. It's
full day's drive.
It's a 12-hour drive, and that's non-stop.
How do you find the roads? Are they good standards?
Some sections are good, and some are not very good at all.
So you do need to be prepared.
Expect some bumpy roads. That's part of the experience.
Make sure your spares are okay. Make sure you got fuel,
water, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of fuel stations in between, but
you don't want to let yourself
down
to the red light coming on.
But you can do that on your own. You can get people to come with you. You can arrange it on your own. You can work with local agents to give you some guidance. Once you're there, the information is there, and what we're working on is getting that information online now, so that you can prep your trip before you go.
Perfect. So people can come there quite happily, and if they want the wilderness in Africa, they just need to come to Zambia. They don't need to go to do multi-centres if they don't want to. If they don't like doing all the internal flying, they can actually just come to Zambia.
I think that, personally, I mean, obviously I'm biased. I mean, that's where I was born and that's where I grew up, but personally, I think a lot of people come to Africa and do an Africa trip, sort of going to Botswana and come down into Zambia. You go to South Africa, and that's fine, and it's brilliant. But Zambia has it all. What I haven't mentioned is the waterfalls in the northern province. Everybody thinks of Victoria Falls, and it's very well known.
I was reading some of the literature from Zambia Tourism. There's lots of waterfalls, 14 or something.
Yeah, I was going to say over 12, but 12 to 15 waterfalls, most of them around the northern province. One of the second highest waterfalls in the world's there. Fabulous places. There's one in particular that I think of that has some historic drawings, rock drawings and things like that.
Like the sand art you get in the middle of Botswana and South Africa.
And then there's the birding, fishing, big wildlife, people, culture. What more could you ask for?
Exactly. Wonderful. Okay, well, Sarah, thank you very much for that. It's given us a bit of an idea of Zambia. If you want more information, we're Explorer Travel, and our website is www.big5, that's the number 5, .explorertravel.co.uk. Okay, thanks, Sarah.
Thank you very much, Rob.